and welcome to My Xbox and Me, episode 262. I am one of your hosts, MC Fixer, alongside the one and only Too Fresh Crash. Crash, how are you?
Hello. I'm doing good. You know,
Yeah?
it's sweater weather again, Fix. That has me very excited.
I thought you said it's swagger weather, and I was like,
Swag.
I've always got my swagger on point, brother. You said sweater.
No. I would never say something like that to you.
So you consider what you're wearing a sweater?
I prefer a pullover. By sweater weather, I mean hoodie weather. Not a sweater.
Okay. I was about to
look. Hoodie weather.
I thought this was going to be a whole American versus England thing, and I'm confused. No, that's not a sweater. That's just a hoodie. It's a zip-up hoodie.
It's a hoodie. It's a hoodie. Yeah.
Okay. As long as look. I don't want the people to come for you. We're already be getting done out here on the last video we put out because it's just fanboy words everywhere. But I didn't want people to come for you for the sweater specifically. You know.
Thank you for having my back, folks.
Always. If you don't know, My Xbox and Me is our weekly Xbox podcast here on youtube.com/ since My Xbox and Me, and on all podcast services, Spotify, Apple, Google. You can get the show early. You can get the show early over on patreon.com/MCFixer. See, it's really weird. It's like, it's not an MC Fixer anymore. It hasn't been for a long time. But the Patreon's still MC Fixer that supports make it all happen. Blah, 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 blah. It's a whole thing. If you are someone that's enjoying the show, enjoying what we do, please do consider dropping a couple of bucks over on patreon.com/MC Fixer. It's what allows me to keep doing this full time. It's what allows me to keep, trying to put out as much content as we can. Obviously, it allows me to cover news as soon as it drops, like we did this week. I'm thinking it's so much going on. It feels like it was last week. It is just this week, a couple of days now. But yeah, so some of you would have seen that the My Xbox and Me reaction went up on the podcast feed. Something new that we're trying, which is it's more unscripted, there's no show notes, there's no nothing. It's just literally me and Crash jump on to cover the biggest topic that happens at that moment, whether it was this week obviously was the Bethesda stuff. We've done a couple here and there. Let us know if you do want them to go up on the podcast feed or if you would rather that stays on YouTube. The YouTube numbers for it was ridiculous for us. We had like well over 400 concurrents. Our YouTube subs have gone from 600 to nearly 1,000 just off of that one video. So it's something we're going to keep doing, but I understand that it's not a polished podcast feel the way that you're getting right now, hence why we do a normal episode on top of that always, so we can add it in. It gives us a little bit more time to formulate our opinions and things of that nature, where the reaction stuff is pretty much just jump on and, oh my god, this is happening. From my perspective, I just get very excited. So definitely let us know if you do want that still on the podcast feed, because it helps us a lot. Crash, fun fact, I found out we're on Amazon, dude. I didn't realize we were on Amazon. I didn't know Amazon had a podcast thing.
That was literally about to be my question. I didn't know Amazon had podcasts.
Yeah, Amazon have podcasts. You could be listening to us on your thing. I won't say it out loud because I don't want to start listening, I don't want to start listening for people. You know what I'm talking about, though. And you could probably say that thing, listen to My Xbox and Me. If you do that, please let us know, because that is the coolest thing ever. If that is the case, that to me is wild and one of the coolest things I've ever done in my life. So shout out to you who do that. Crash, we got so much to cover, dude. There is so much to cover this week that I'm still formulating my thoughts on everything, really. Obviously, we had the Xbox pre-orders go this week, the Series S and Series X pre-orders, which we'll talk about a bit later. Xbox bought one of the biggest studios in the world, so let's start with that. But before we do that, let's not forget about our Patreon producer, man like Erengard. Erengard, thank you so much for keeping the lights on and keeping this show going. Without you, I guarantee you that episode we just put up wouldn't be happening. So thank you, Erengard. You help us support this show. You help keeping this show going. And you will soon allow us to get an editor, so me and Chris just get to sit back and relax, We do the show, pass it on to someone else. One day. Topic of the show this week, Crash. Microsoft acquires Bethesda. So they now own games like Skyrim, Fallout, Doom, Starfield.
Yeah.
All of them. This story was taken from GameSpot, which again, if you haven't listened to my episode of GameSpot, you should go check that out. And it was written by Steve Watts, and it says, Microsoft has announced a $7.5 billion deal to acquire ZeniMax Media, the parent company to Bethesda Works, and its many studios. Those studios include Bethesda Game Studio, id Software, who are behind some of the big video game franchises, including Doom, Fallout, Elder Scrolls, and many more. That marks a massive explosion to the Xbox Game Studio lineup, which now grows from 15 internal studios to 27. In the Xbox blog, they announced, head of Xbox announced, Phil Spencer outed the games that they will own. So obviously the Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Wolfenstein, Doom, Dishonored, Prey, and of course the upcoming big game that everyone's excited for, which is Starfield. All of these games will be launching day one when they come out. If they're new when they have new titles in Game Pass. That has now been confirmed, Crash. I watched Phil on one of the news outlets over in America, and he spoke quite elegantly about this. A couple of days off it, not from just all the hype and stuff. How you feeling about it all?
I'm pretty much at the same spot I was.
Which is?
This is a really good get for Microsoft. I think this is huge. I don't think we see the ramifications of this for quite a while.
Yeah.
Because I still think like the games we get in the beginning are going to be multi-platform. I don't think we're going to get any really like super big Xbox focused stuff. I think we'll have some crossover here and there, but nothing like super, super big.
Got ya. Yeah, I tweeted, obviously my Twitter was aflames with all of this, and I've been putting out a lot of tweets about it. I said this isn't a play for exclusives. Though they could do that, I don't believe this is a play for that. I believe this is a play for users. This is a play for player base. This is a play for those sort of things. Which is, I generally, and I put this out in a tweet as well, where I said, I feel like Fallout, Skyrim, and Starfield will all come to the PS5. Because I feel like those games sell enough units that they are then going to help pay back the $7.5 billion in its long run, yeah? Obviously, Skyrim sold 30 million units across all platforms. Like, why would you limit that to one console when you would literally be leaving money on the table by not putting it everywhere? Go on.
I've seen a lot of people say, like, oh, there's no way they're going to make the game multi-platform. They're going to make all of them exclusives. And I'm like, it's a $7.5 billion deal. And you have to remember, Minecraft was 2.5. And
they put that everywhere.
They left Minecraft everywhere. And even Minecraft Dungeons came out, and that's on PlayStation, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
It's PS4, yep.
I wouldn't be surprised if like new IPs, and even Starfield, I could see Starfield becoming an exclusive possibly. But new IPs for sure, I could see Microsoft being like, hey, let's make these exclusives. The stuff that are normally multi-platform, we'll keep them multi-platform for now. We don't want to necessarily ruin our trust with gamers, because that doesn't look amazing for most people. And then B, it's also like, let's reap in that money. Let's like start to recoup the 7.5 that we just spent on that.
I 100% agree with you on what you're saying, but I also disagree as well. Where it's like, I agree with you because Xbox and Microsoft have been very consumer friendly as of lately, right? Their whole message has definitely been play where you want, on what you want, with what you want, who cares, sort of thing. I wonder, I've been seeing a lot of people like doing their thing. They can't do this. They can't make it exclusive. How dare they? Blah blah blah.
I mean,
how would you feel? How do you think people would have felt if this was the other way around? Because you know, for well, Sony wouldn't even play ball with Microsoft. Like, and that's the thing I want to like really remind people, which is like, hold up. Everybody has been complaining, not even the business part of it, really. Everyone's been complaining that Xbox has no games. Now Xbox has the biggest games, and people are not happy about it. What are you guys
doing? Yeah. I get it. I understand why people wouldn't be happy. It's because it's not Xbox's own homegrown games. It would be games that they bought. I 100% agree with you. I'm just trying to put like the narrative on understanding why they think that way. But yeah, it's sort of like Xbox has nothing. Xbox has something I want now. They can't have it for themselves.
Yeah, it's that conversation. A lot of it's fanboyism, which I'm seeing.
Oh, absolutely.
A lot of it, even we see it on our channel now, which is frustrating, but I understand it comes with the territory when you cover one console per se, even though we do play on PC as well. But yeah, the other thing to keep in mind here is Phil Spencer has also confirmed that Xbox plans to honor the PS5 exclusivity commitment for games like Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo, which I find the funniest ever. I think that is absolutely hilarious. PlayStation will now be marketing their new console with Xbox-owned games. And that's why I think this is genius, honestly. And that's why I feel like Xbox have made such a great play in this regard, where they're like, hey, you can keep doing business with us if you want. Do you want to? Do you want to? Because now Sony has a question mark there, which is: do we cancel? Do we want? Well, no, not that. Not even so much on that deal. I think that deal carries on, no matter what. That deal carries on. I think it's now the fact of Skyrim. Let's think about this. Let's say the PS5. I still think outsells the PlayStation. The PS5 still outsells Xbox in my opinion. I think so. I think it does. Even with this news, it's now a case of: do we want to allow? Minecraft was one thing. But do we now want to allow Xbox to make a lot of money off of our system? And PlayStation have to answer that question themselves. I don't think they're going to want to not have Skyrim or Starfield or Fallout. I don't think they're not going to want that game on their system. But they also must understand that they are lining the pockets of their competitor if they allow it. Yeah.
But I think that's something that they're probably used to dealing with in general. In terms of hey, we make the Blu-ray, Microsoft has to get the Blu-ray for every console they make, right?
Yep.
So that's, I think in terms of that, Sony as a whole is probably used to dealing with that aspect
I'm
of
talking
business.
more PlayStation versus Xbox more than Sony versus Microsoft, though.
I don't know if maybe they think about it that way. I don't know if they really will. I think for them, it's just purely from a business perspective is the way they're going to be looking at it.
Well, obviously we know PlayStation's trying to use the Azure technology owned by Microsoft as well. It's but I understand that. I do understand that, and I understand the business side of that. I just think this is so software orientated, right? And it's wow, are we about to just allow them to just make money off of us when they at PlayStation have been super aggressive in its third-party deals, obviously Final Fantasy 16, obviously Ghostwire and things like that. I suppose this is a perfect time to bring up. Apparently, we don't know the full extent of it, but apparently PlayStation was trying to sign Starfield as a timed exclusive, which, again, that is wild. Absolutely wild that PlayStation would even try that. And we're starting to see the games industry really shape up with this move. And there's a few quotes we're going to talk about later on in the show, which is going to really open the minds of where gaming is going and where Microsoft truly feel like they're going. But I thought this would be a great time to talk about the studios that Xbox has now, Crush, and what we know they're currently working on, right?
Yep.
343 has Halo, working on Halo Infinite. The best known for making Halo. Alpha Dog's best known for working on Monstrous City. Is that how I say that? Monstrosity, thank you. And Wraithborn? Wraithborn. I never heard of either of those games. You heard of those?
Me neither.
No?
I'll be honest. No.
And their next game is to be announced. Arcane, obviously known for working on Dishonored and Prey. And they've got another game in development along with Deathloop, which is currently in development for the PS5. Bethesda have also got... Bethesda Game Studios have got Fallout and Skyrim. Their game to next be announced, which obviously is Starfield, but when that happens, we don't know. The Correlation is obviously best known for working on Gears. Their next game yet to be announced. Compulsion Games, best known for their game being We Happy Few. Their next game not to be announced. Double Fine, best known for Psychonauts and Broken Age, are currently working on PS5 and Xbox Series X and S game Psychonauts 2. The Initiative are currently a new studio, so we don't know what they're best known for, but we know the rumours are they are working on a Perfect Dark game. id Software, best known for working on Doom and Quake. We don't know what they're working on next. In Exile, best known for working on Wasteland series 1, 2, and 3. We don't know what their next game is, but we know it is going to be an RPG, obviously. Machine Games, best known for working on Wolfenstein. We assume we'll get another Wolfenstein next. Would be a safe assumption to me. Now that even more so now, I don't know, but safe assumption.
Yeah.
Or do you think because again we'll probably repeat ourselves a little bit, but Xbox have come out and said that they're going to remain semi offhand as well.
Yeah.
So I don't see them going to any of these studios that they've just got from Bethesda and going, we want this. It's like, what was you concepting? This, can we have a look, please? Oh, that looks pretty cool. Yeah, do you? Like, I don't think we're now going to see them come out with a brand new IP first-person shooter. I just don't.
I don't either. They also have like a lot of teams here. I could see them sort of like taking an IP like that and sort of like, hey, do you guys plan on using this? Like, what if they don't plan on using Wolfenstein anytime soon, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, well, we have this other studio over here. You know, do you have anybody who does want to work on this franchise right now that we can sort of reposition and move over and sort of like start getting something working or something like that? So I could see a Wolfenstein coming from Microsoft possibly. I just don't know if it would necessarily be from that team. Because like also
definitely has to be Machine for me. It has to be. Yeah, I don't think anyone else needs to touch that game because those games are very good.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree.
Next up, we have Mojang, which is known for working on Minecraft. We don't know what their next project is. Ninja Theory, best game they're known for is Hellblade, and they're working on Hellblade 2. Obsidian, obviously known for working on Fallout New Vegas, South Park RPG, and The Outer Worlds. And their current game in development they have, which is Grounded, Early Access, and Avowed. Playground Games, best known for working on the Forza Horizon series, are working on the next Fable. Rare, obviously, everyone knows Rare. I'm going to go with their best known game being Perfect Dark, then Sea of Thieves, in my opinion. They're currently on...
Whoa.
Yes, I skipped Battletoads on purpose and Banjo-Kazooie.
Whoa.
They're best known for working on Perfect Dark and Sea of Thieves.
I don't know. I would have never known who they were had it not been for Battletoads.
Not Banjo?
Fix, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't care about that franchise.
No, me either. Me either. Yeah, no. But yeah, they're currently carrying on work on Sea of Thieves and obviously working on their brand new IP, which is Everwild. We now have Rand House Studios, which is a new studio. We don't know what they're doing. We don't know what they're up to. Tango Gameworks, which is currently best known for working on The Evil Within. They have a game to be announced, and they're currently working on Ghostwire Tokyo, which is currently in development for the PS5. I just like saying that. I've got to be honest with you. Obviously, we got Turn 10, which is Forza Motorsports, who work on Forza Motorsports. Undead Labs, who work on State of Decay, and are currently working on State of Decay 3. We've got World's Edge, which are best known for making Age of Empire. We don't know what they're currently working on. We have Xbox Game Studios Publishing. They're a publishing arm. That's what they do. They don't make games, they publish. And obviously we have ZeniMax Online, which is currently working on the Elder Scrolls Online and will carry on working on that. They've confirmed, obviously, that the Elder Scrolls Online will still play on PlayStation. They're still currently working on updates for that and things like that. So, good to know.
Does Elder Scrolls Online have a subscription fee?
No.
Or did they drop it? They dropped it.
Did they ever have it?
I'm pretty sure they used to have a subscription fee.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure it doesn't, though.
Okay. Because I was going to say, I wonder if that would be included in Game Pass.
It would be. If that was the case, it would be, in my opinion. Yeah.
Okay.
I just wanted to read out that list of studios, Crash, because I remember when I started this podcast, and when I started this podcast, I had to go searching deep for what Xbox actually owned. Because obviously I was new in the industry. I wanted to be very knowledgeable. I wanted to learn about every single studio Xbox owned. Back then, all I knew of was Rare, Playground. No, not even Playground, sorry. It would have been Rare, Turn 10, 343. Those would have been the ones I would have known of.
Yeah.
I would have known of off the top of my head if you would have asked me. Now we look at the list of studios they have, and I'm I'm looking around, and I was going to write out a whole list, and I decided not to, but like, RPGs. Xbox have the RPG, the Western RPGs.
I was about to make
Down. There's no better place to play westernized RPGs. Obviously, argument could be there for Cyberpunk. What am I looking for? CD Projekt Red. Obviously, they make the tippy top games, in my opinion. But everything below that is what Xbox now own.
And that's available on Xbox. So if you really cared about the Western RPGs, you'd go to Xbox because you could still play Cyberpunk there.
Yep.
Right.
You look at the first-person shooter, right? They now have Halo. Obviously, we're all super anticipating when we're going to get the new Halo now that it's been delayed. But they have games like Wolfenstein. They have games like Doom, Quake, some of the best in the industry. Yeah. I may not play those type of games necessarily, but that doesn't take away from the fact that they are some of the best shooters in the industry, bar none.
Absolutely. It also doesn't take away like the amount of people that like those games, right? Yeah. Like I'm
talking more from a quality perspective, more than I am in everything that I'm saying. I'm talking more from a quality perspective.
Got it.
Because I think this has always been the conversation, right? Which is Xbox. Oh yeah, they've got Game Pass, but you get 7s, you get 6 games. You don't get 10 out of 10s. You don't get 9 out of 10s. You don't get 8 out of 10s. You get average games. That conversation's now gone. It doesn't exist anymore.
I think that conversation's been like slowly going away, even outside of that. With like
that conversation was stupid in the first place.
Yeah, we had Devil May Cry pretty like recently after the Devil May Cry came out. It came to Game Pass.
We've had plenty of fantastic games.
That's not an average game. Yeah.
No, but then but always to carry on. Then you've got, if you want an arcade racing game, you have Playground with Forza Horizon, and if you want a simulation sport driving game, you have Turn 10. 2 of the best in the industry. Yep. Now, the rest of this we could go on and keep going on, right? But Xbox have done such a good job now in showing us it's not just about having a singular type of game, but being able to cater to everybody across the board. And I was going to bring up, and you're 100% right, the only thing they are missing from their portfolio of work, in my opinion, is a JRPG. Do you think we get one? Do you think they go out? None of these teams that they currently have, I don't think, could make a JRPG to the quality that we would expect it to be, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, we're going to talk about it again, I'm sure, but the rumors out there right now are they are looking to buy Sega, best known for Persona. I think would be fair. There's no way, right? There's no way, right? There's no way.
I think this is like a really deep conversation to have, which I don't know if there's a question about it. I don't know if you want to get into
Let's do it. Where's the question? Do you know where it is? We've got a lot of questions. We'll get to it. Well, let's put a pin in it. We'll jump into Fixer's Sack right now. If you want to email in, please head over to YouTube. No, please head over to any email address that you want and email in myxboxandmepodcast@gmail.com. You can either tweet at myself at MCFixer or at Kresh with at KreshnickPlays on Twitter. Use the hashtag MXAM or respond to our tweet that we put out on the My Xbox and Me Twitter account. Our first question says this. With Bethesda being part of Xbox Game Studios now, do you think they will continue to work on their own IP, such as Fallout and Elder Scrolls, in the long term? Or do you think Xbox will assign their own IP to Bethesda Studios once their current projects are over? From Elder Slayer. I think we kind of already tangentially touched on this, which is Xbox are only going to take a in my heart of hearts, I feel like this is strictly we're taking the business side off of you guys. We will handle that. You keep making the games you want to make.
Yeah. And then unless something like goes super overboard, Microsoft probably won't step in. It'll probably be a very similar to like their relationship with Mojang, is that like you guys do what you guys are doing in whatever game you are. When we see an option to like sort of do some business end of something, or you guys need us to give you resources for something, we're here for that.
Yeah.
And I think that's really how it'll play out.
I think they will be encouraged to keep doing Fallout, Elder Scrolls, system seller games. If you're asking me, I think that you don't buy that list of IP and then go, nah, we don't want to make that anymore. But I don't think they will be beholden to it either. I think this deal allows Bethesda as a whole to really come out of their shell and really, really push on. I'm talking from an engine point of view. I'm talking from a obviously bugs and stuff like that. Like this is now the time for Bethesda to go from making. I'm not saying their games are not 10 out of 10, but buggy messes, which we know they are, to making Witcher type games.
Well, did you see the story that came out a little bit after they bought it that the engine's getting the biggest overall it's gotten in a very long time?
I just want to get off the engine.
Yeah,
to be honest with
the
you,
engine has problems.
Yeah, if we're being honest, like an overhaul to me is like, just go to Unreal, please.
Yeah.
If they can get their game to work the way they want it to work in that engine as well,
one of the
like
big
it's
things,
not
right?
What engine? Yeah. I don't think I know the answer to this. I don't know the answer to this question. Do you know what engine Obsidian uses?
I do not know. I can look it up.
If you can, because I'd love to know what engine they use, because their game, not without its problems, by the way, but it's still a lot better than Bethesda's latest games, in my opinion.
It's made with Unreal Engine 4.
So with Unreal 5 coming, but the problem you've got is people have been at Bethesda for 20 plus years. Like, they know how to use that engine, and to throw them into Unreal could be really hard on them. Yeah. So
honestly, like, even with their current engine, it depends on like how drastic of the overhaul is, and like how much they change it up and how much they fix things, right?
Yeah. 100%.
So it could end up like this could end up being like enough, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I completely forgot where I was going to go.
No, you're good. With Bethesda, next question, sorry. With Bethesda being a Microsoft studio, do you think the future games will release day one for Game Pass, and those that are not Xbox exclusives will release on other platforms, PlayStation, at a much later date, if at all, from old age fishy? We already know they are coming to Game Pass. That goes without saying. Yes, every single one of these games will be coming to Game Pass when they launch, which brings Game Pass God knows how much more value. Ridiculous amounts of more value. Which is to go back to my tweet, which I put out, which is Xbox are not playing the exclusive game, they are playing the $70 versus Game Pass game now. Which is, yes, you can go and play the PlayStation exclusives you want over on PlayStation. But if you want to play our games, which are also on PlayStation, you don't have to pay $70 for them each time. You can buy Game Pass.
Yeah.
And I think that's a ridiculous amount of value. Any gamer on a budget who cannot afford both consoles now has to really ask themselves, do I really care about PlayStation exclusives?
Or, like, even take it a step deeper and think about when, like, xCloud comes to PC, right? Do I just get Game Pass and use xCloud on my PC and I play high quality games on my PC and I get whatever console, but I'm involved in the ecosystem, right? It is them winning people into the ecosystem. It's not just necessarily like, hey, let's get people on the Xbox. Hey, let's sell consoles, let's sell units, right? It's like we want people in our ecosystem because people are more likely to continue buying our accessories, our controllers, even our consoles in the long run, right?
Yeah.
Because, you get into Game Pass now once the next Xbox comes out. What are you going to get? Oh, I'm really already involved in the Xbox. I might as well get the next Xbox the next time it drops.
Yeah. No, 100%. This is a long play. But to answer your last part of your question, like I said, I feel like the games I've mentioned, Fallout, Skyrim, Starfield, will all come. I feel like Doom, Evil Within, Prey, Dishonored, I feel like those 2 to 3 million units. I'm not saying Doom is that, but I feel like Doom is one game that could actually shift consoles. So why not have one that stays with us on our platform exclusively, and one big one of the 4, in my opinion? And Doom is the smallest of the big ones there that I feel like could still shift the needle. But yeah, for me, I feel like those games will go to PlayStation, but they'll keep some for themselves as well. I feel very confident about that.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think I think at least for right now, with how much money they spent, I think it'd be kind of short-sighted of them to make it exclusive.
Yeah.
Only because like it's 7. I've already mentioned this one, but it's 7.5 billion, and the amount of times I've seen people sort of like claim that as an irrelevant number is
which
like
just to put that into perspective, yeah, because I understand why people are saying that. Microsoft have already come out and said how that deal doesn't affect them in any way, shape, or form.
Absolutely.
Like the shareholder prices didn't bounce like crazy because of it. Like whenever any company spends money, shareholders usually drop, and it drops ridiculously. Yeah. Where and Microsoft did have a drop in the share prices, by the way, from this deal. Some people got scared and dropped, but this is nothing to a $1 trillion company.
Oh, absolutely. But this is also like it's Microsoft's third biggest acquisition, not Xbox's, no, Microsoft's. The ones above it are Skype and LinkedIn. Skype was 7.9, I think, so it's barely above it. Yeah. And then LinkedIn was 25 or something like that. It was crazy high.
Man, Skype.
So
why the hell did I buy Skype?
Skype's still used in businesses.
I was gonna say businesses still use Skype, so I shouldn't say
make
that.
Money off of Skype. So
they're gonna buy Zoom soon, I bet you. Come out of nowhere, just take them off. Discord and Zoom and
Zoom's been going down. I don't think they buy Zoom.
Oh really?
Yeah. Well, there was a whole bunch of people getting into calls and stuff like that.
Oh, that's a different thing. That's different. Yeah.
But people aren't using it as much.
I think. Well, in the UK, I know we got a second wave coming of Corona, so I think people are like gonna start having to use it again. Actually, that's a really good point. I should probably buy some stock in Zoom again.
Buy some stock.
Right now could be the time. Could be the time.
Maybe.
Next question. With Microsoft acquiring ZeniMax Media and all the companies / studios underneath it, do you think Microsoft will now turn its eye onto the Japanese market? For example, a studio like Sega, or do you think Microsoft will stay within US / Europe market and look for more studios to acquire there? From Don't Give a Bit. One of our team, Chris. One of our team. Don't Give a Bit.
I know. Amazing content.
Amazing content. I can't wait for you guys. If you've not watched it on his Twitter, I'm going to upload it to the YouTube channel, and I can't wait for you guys to see that video. So keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it. Probably, I don't know when they go out. I don't know, soon. Maybe Sunday. We'll see. Crash, what do you think? Stay within US, Europe, or are they going to go and buy someone in the Japanese / Asian market?
I don't think they'll buy someone in the Asian market. I think for right now, they're really going to focus on partnerships because it looks weird for a company that hasn't had amazing relationships, and they're starting to get better there. It's just sort of go and buy a company over there.
Yep.
For the consumers over there, it doesn't look good, and then for other studios, it's like, oh, if you work with them and they like what you're doing, and mind you, they've been working with Sega with the Phantasy Star Online,
Yakuza.
So yeah, so it's like, they're just gonna buy you up. Maybe we just don't entertain that and work with them. I also don't know how business is conducted in Japan, really. So I don't know if Microsoft could just go over there and buy something super.
You don't know how business is conducted in the US either, mate. I don't know why you're
true.
acting.
No, but what I mean by that,
I'm messing.
Yeah,
I know exactly what you mean.
You're absolutely right.
I just don't want people thinking you're like a Harvard school
true.
lawyer.
Right?
Don't come to Chris if you get in trouble in the law, all right? Chris can't help you.
I don't. You pay my retainer and then we'll see.
He doesn't work pro bono, just so you're all aware.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't even mean business from a legal
standpoint.
I
know what you meant.
I just meant because the Japanese businesses are apparently very respectful, and America used to not deal really great with them.
Yeah.
So I don't know how it is and how going to buy them would work for an American company. So I don't really know if it's something that Microsoft should really pursue of the moment, and I don't know if it's something they will.
It's an interesting one, right? Because Phil has been making huge leaps with the Japanese market, Sega and Square. I know Square keep partnering with Sony on things. I do get that, but you've got to look at what's in Game Pass. Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 9, all of the Final Fantasy game 15. Like, he is doing his job to the best of his ability.
Yeah.
He can't stop them from doing business with Sony. Do we know who owns Sega? And I don't know what their value is.
I think Sega's the parent company. Because I know Atlas is a subsidiary of Sega.
So Sega's... The stock between deal values Sega at 1.4 to 1.8 billion.
They could definitely.
They could gobble them up really easy.
Yeah.
Really easy.
Yeah.
To go on record, I don't think it happens. Honestly, I generally don't think it happens. I don't think that Microsoft can just keep dropping all this money.
It's also...
Go on.
There was the quote that they're looking to continue, like, they're not opposed to buying studios in the future. No. And the keyword there was, like, in the future. So even if they do, like, if they are looking at it and they plan on it, we probably won't hear about it for a very long time. Like, a lot of people are hoping for TGS. I don't think that happens.
No, it's too soon, surely. TGS is tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, just to put things into perspective again, Square Enix is valued at 1.26, between 1.26 and 1.5.
Yeah.
So they could gobble both of them.
They could.
They could literally buy everyone.
How much is Bandai worth?
Oh, Bandai.
No, Bandai. Because then you get all like the really big like JRPGs. Like Capcom has like Japanese games, but I don't know how many JRPGs Capcom has.
Sorry, 1 second. Bandai Namco's value is currently sitting at... Bandai Namco sits at 6.4. A lot more.
Yeah.
Huh.
But I'm pretty sure Bandai also does like stuff
they do
outside
toys.
of gaming.
They do toys and other things like that.
So that would explain.
Yeah. Huh. Very interesting. All right, last one. We've got to look at Capcom because obviously we know how much I love Capcom.
Right.
Capcom's market value. Market value is
1.
currently
1?
sitting at... Oh. It's not showing me. Oh, doesn't say.
I got 1.
You got 1.1?
Yeah.
The franchises you get with Capcom, though, let's really think about it. Resident Evil, Devil May Cry, Street Fighter, Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
They're the big ones. I'm not saying it doesn't have others.
Yeah, they are.
On the Mushu.
They are the biggest.
Mega Man?
They do have Mega Man, that is true.
No one really cares about Mega Man, though, anymore.
Mega Man hasn't been that relevant for a really long time. It's something that people love looking back at. But even Street Fighter isn't really as relevant as it used to be.
Nope.
So
it's you're right. You're 100% right. But it's having your finger in those markets with Evo. And I know Evo's all over the place at the moment, but there will be another fighting game tournament thing. Oh, Dragon's Dogma. People will beat us up if we don't mention that.
I guess.
I think the big get there is Monster Hunter more than even Resident Evil. So
yeah, because especially after the last one, it's doing huge.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't see them. I think there's a lot of reasons to look at it and be like, A, it's not the time right now, and B, it's like they're not really ready in that market to buy a studio like that, I feel like.
No, I agree. Alright, let's move on, which says, how does FF work now? If 16 is a PS5 and PC exclusive, but will be fully released before Final Fantasy VII Remake, but we know Final Fantasy VII Remake is coming to Xbox, is it just 16, or is Xbox done with Square again, from Good in Gaming? I don't think it comes down to any of that. It comes down to business. And it comes down to the fact that Sony have signed Final Fantasy VII Remake to a year exclusivity. It's the exact same thing with Final Fantasy 16, but Sony are very good at hiding their things they have at times exclusive. They don't tell you up front, and they hide it in their messaging. And then what they do is they then must sign a deal with Square that says they can't talk about other consoles either. Because the rumor is the rumor, we say rumor because nothing's confirmed yet, is that Final Fantasy 16 will be a timed exclusive, just altogether on PS5 for 6 months. Then in 6 months' time, it will come to PC, and then after those 6 months, it will then be able to come to other consoles, which is obviously implying Xbox. It won't run on Switch, unless the Ouya 2 gets announced.
You know what? That's actually a really good point. It'll probably happen.
So I don't think it comes down to Xbox being done with Square again. I don't think Xbox were ever done with Square in the first place. It was the fact of they didn't speak well because of business terms. And Xbox were very arrogant and very American about a lot of things in a lot of ways early on, as we all know. Now
Xbox
they are
burned
changing
a lot of bridges.
but they're changing that now with Phil Spencer at the helm. So no, I don't think this comes down to being done. It's never as easy as that. It's never that way. It's just a case of these are the deals that are being set. Square Enix, we just read it out. Square Enix value is not that much. It's not like they make ridiculous amounts of money. The way we think of Square, like they make more money than they actually do. We do the exact same thing with PlayStation.
Yeah.
Xbox literally just bought more than what PlayStation made in profit on the PS4. The whole of the PS4.
I'm pretty sure if Xbox wanted to, they have enough money to buy all of Sony.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So
let's
not
100%.
compare the money.
The whole
I'm just saying,
Sony,
let's
not just
not
the PlayStation part.
Yeah, the whole Sony. The reason why deals like this happen are because Sony can't afford to buy
studios,
full exclusivity and studios. They can't afford to buy Square Enix. So that's why they go to deals like this, and it's why we see Microsoft going and buying full studios.
Yeah, 100%.
It's just a different ball game. And then even when Microsoft does that, Microsoft could also has the opportunity then, because they own the studios, to make deals and do things with these studios that seem more consumer friendly and are more consumer friendly because we own it, and even if the games are coming onto PlayStation, we're getting all the profit. We are still making money off that.
Yeah.
We are taking a cut off that. So we're good with like being consumer friendly because we're solid. Sony can't do that. Sony can't sign this deal and be like, we were just kidding. This Final Fantasy 16 is coming to Xbox as well. They get nothing out of that if they just like, Yeah.
We got another one which says at the showcase they said oh wait, this is the same. Sorry, from the same part, which I didn't see. Sorry, I apologize. At the showcase, they said the PS5. It was a PS5 exclusive, but if you look on their Twitter, there are so many other things. Quote: "We have no further information if Final Fantasy 16 released." Yeah, we already went through this. But yeah, cool. This next one comes from Chris Parks and says, "Did you manage to get your pre-order in? What are you getting? Where from?" Me, yes, one of each. I got mine. I got one of each. I got an X and an S for work purposes. For everyone who keeps asking me on bloody Twitter and Twitch and things, and like, guys, we run an Xbox website and an Xbox podcast. We want to start doing more content where it comes to comparisons between the two, or unboxing videos and things like that. Remember, this is what I do for a living, and hence why Patreon's so important, and Twitch subs and all of that stuff, right? This is my job. I'm not the same as like all of you guys, where it's like I get to experience games in the same way where like you come home from a long day of work. Like my job is to then make those comparisons. That is literally what I do. So yeah, I've got an X and I've got an S. The S will probably become my streaming device, and I think the X will go on the 4K TV. If there is a significant difference. If there's not, if there isn't a significant difference, if it's not, I'll use the X on my 2K monitor, and the 2K machine will go on the 4K TV. But we'll see. We'll see in the end. Do I even think I'm going to keep both? Who knows? I don't know. But right now, yeah. But I ended up getting 2 Xbox One X's pre-orders, Crash.
Series X's.
Series X's.
You're not one of those old.
I'm not one of those grandmas. I'm not one of the grandmas. I'm not. But yeah, so I'm debating what to do with the other one, whether to cancel it or give it to somebody or whatever. So
yeah,
by give it, I mean sell it to somebody, obviously. Not like for the price I didn't pay, but you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
What about you, Crash? What did you manage to?
I did get a pre-order. I pre-ordered both the Series X and the Series S.
Oh!
Not for myself.
Oh.
I got the Series S for myself. I pre-ordered my brother's console also.
Got you.
Yeah.
Where did you pre-order from? Oh, I pre-ordered from Argos and Amazon, by the way.
I pre-ordered from Microsoft Store.
Smart.
It was literally the only place that would load for me. I went to Target. Target wasn't working. I went to Best Buy wasn't loading at all.
I had up Game, Smiths, Amazon, Microsoft Store, Argos, and was just refreshing like crazy. And all the other sites where I didn't pre-order crashed.
Yeah. Every single time I kept like closing pages and opening them because I had a page on the side open with like all the links, and I just keep clicking it, closing, refreshing, all this stuff, and then eventually I was lucky enough to get it to work. It was a very, very hectic process.
Stressful.
You know, very stressful.
For Absolutely. Me, it was super stressful. I've never been that over. You got to remember, this is the first time I ever buying these consoles at launch. For me, getting a PlayStation 5 was very easy because the link leaked early and stuff like that. So for me, it was very easy. Where this was a lot more. Oh no, everyone is crashing websites. I'm not going to get one. Hence why I put out the video on Twitter of me like celebrating, which again, I know is dumb. I'm celebrating being able to pre-order a console from $1 billion, $1 trillion company. Like, when you put that into perspective, I'm a fucking idiot.
You're just enjoying the moment, you know?
Yeah. But you know, it upsets me.
I know.
Next question, which is along a similar line, so we might not have to answer, but we'll see. It's from George Barrett and says, we're still waiting to see how the US copes with pre-orders, but do you think our UK experience shows Microsoft had a better strategy when it comes to pre-orders? I was able to get a PS5 and the Xbox Series X. My experience was the same as Amazon went live when they said for both. For me, I don't think Xbox had a better experience. The thing with PlayStation is you got to remember, PlayStation didn't tell them not to put it out. Tell them to put it out. They just didn't tell them not to put it out. Is the problem, I feel like. So I don't want to pat Microsoft on the back either. They had a shit show of a showing when it comes to all this as well. But you can't. It's hard to blame either of these websites. You don't know how much traffic's actually going to come through and stuff like that.
That was going to be my big thing, is like, it's always easy to say like, oh, the website should have been working, they should have been ready for this, but it's like when games come out and like if you get the game early, you're fine with the online services, but the second that game actually like officially launches, it all goes to hell, right? Is they can't, no matter how much they're prepared for it, they're not really prepared for it. They're not prepared for everybody getting in on at the same time. They might be ready for everybody being on it, but not when everybody's trying to like flood through the gate at the same time. Not everybody's going to fit, and it's going to cause problems and crashes. Yep,
exactly. Next question's one not so much about Xbox, but it says this one's from Lloyd Farrell. Have I said that right? Farrell, Farrell, F-A-R-R-E-L. I hope I said E-L-L. I hope I said that right. Farrell. We'll see.
I think you're right.
When it comes to sponsorships, emails, how do you determine genuine sponsorships and people just trying to waste your time? And how do you decide what sponsors you want to take? I'm assuming this has come from the fact I mentioned that I did a sponsored thing with Raid Shadow Legends. When do you know they're genuine? You don't until you open that dialogue straight away. I've been doing this long enough to spot a fake email very easily, but I've only ever done 2 sponsored pieces of content ever in the 7 years that I've been doing this. So for me, the way you can sort of tell is by questioning the company that's reaching out to you, asking just some easy questions about like what do you like about what I do and stuff like that. Obviously, getting your invoice sent to you beforehand is one as well. And also, like, the way I did the Ray Shadow Legends one was done through a specific company. So I knew that was genuine. It comes through a company that I'm working with or a website that I'm working with. So I know that it will be paid out in the end, no matter what. But to be honest with you, nobody should be, in my opinion, and Chris, you can chime in afterwards, but no one should be looking to sponsored content until you are in need of sponsored content. Are you doing this full time? Are you trying to make a living wage? If you are just Joe Blow that streams on Twitch for him and his 5 mates, you shouldn't be trying to get affiliated links or actually affiliate links are a little bit different, but But sponsorships and like reaching out to like even like partnerships for like Elgato and stuff like that, like you've got a long way to go. It's not, nothing is given to you in this world. And I very much was of the mind of, I will take the Raid Shadow Legends sponsorship because that will then allow me to buy an Xbox Series X. The money they were offering, I'm not allowed to go into details, but it will then allow me to do that. I'm very, very, very open with my Twitch audience, which is the main people I pushed that sponsorship on. About that, before I took it, I asked them what they thought about it. They all told me to go get the bag. So literally, it's being open with your community. But if you're someone that is just starting out on Twitch or YouTube or Facebook gaming and stuff like that, you shouldn't even be thinking about sponsorships, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think it's also important to note that no matter who you go in with the sponsorship, more than likely they're going to try and get more from you than you're going to get from them.
100%.
So be wary of that. That's just business, and it's your business to like sort of like, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. I want this to be on even footing, or I want to get more, or whatever it is. And if you don't have the power to like argue that, maybe sponsorships aren't the right thing for you right now.
Or you're not at the right size to have that conversation. When you're Joe Blow Smo with 20 viewers, without, like, and I mean that across the board, like, why are they offering you an affiliate link? Because they're trying to convince you to buy more products and push let me put it this way. I've never taken a 5% affiliate link from anybody because that doesn't bring value to me and it doesn't bring value to my audience. Me and Insert Coin, I work with Insert Coin and stuff, right? 20% off. That's 20% off. That can be free post and that can cover the whole cost of post and packaging, whatever it is. It benefits me and it benefits my audience. So that's super important to me, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no,
like 5% affiliate codes are just not worth it, in my opinion, to me.
It's really tricky with affiliate codes because a lot of times they don't really give you anything.
Give you nothing.
You're absolutely right about that. Yeah, they give you absolutely nothing, and you're just like, I know people like I don't know how G Fuel is now, but at one time G Fuel was basically, if you got a G Fuel sponsorship, it was to put G Fuel on your screen.
But that's not a sponsorship. That's an affiliate. That's
that affiliate. Yeah.
I need to correct you because there's a big difference. Like getting affiliated, quote unquote, with a company is quite easily. Getting sponsored by a company, total different ballgame. Or partnering with a company, totally different ballgame. I am partnered with Insert Coin. I did a sponsored stream with Raid Shadow Legends. That is it. That is it. So, some of these we've already answered. But this one comes in from Prime6 and says, is Microsoft's shopping spree over? Could we possibly see more purchases, perhaps smaller devs, where in the future we will see more? Do you even think they need more? Thanks. I think they do need more. We've been through that. JRPGs, that market that they don't hit in currently, I think would be a great place for them to start. Will we see more? Yes, because Satya Nadella has come out and said in a quote that we're going to read, but again, we probably won't even bother reading it now because we've said it so many times, which is along the lines of that they are not done. They are not done with spending. They will spend when they see it's the right fit and when it feels right for them and their company. So for me, it's an obvious one for me where it's like, no, obviously they're not done, and hopefully they buy the right studios again next. So far they have bought the right studios.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I also think it's important to note that even if like Xbox were to go away, I don't think Microsoft would stop buying studios that could be profitable for them, because gaming is just another avenue of technology, and that's right up Microsoft's alley. Mm-hmm. So I do think that these purchases would still be happening. So I think Microsoft sees value of them outside of Xbox, where it's like, even if we end up having to like drop Xbox and like not make another console or whatever, which I don't think is going to be the case before like people start attacking me for that. But even if that's the case, like worst case for Microsoft is they're like, we're still getting crazy profit off of Bethesda, right?
Yep.
So I think there's added value there for Microsoft to go keep buying companies.
You've hit the nail on the head, which is when the consoles go away, the studios are still making games and Microsoft are still making money from their games. Whether the phone market becomes the be-all and end-all and destroys everything, whether the PC market explodes, whatever it may be, Microsoft now have their finger in the pie to make enough money everywhere.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're 100% right. Let's get into what's been in our box, Chris. What have you been playing this week, dude?
I haven't really played anything this week at all.
Me either. I played Avengers yesterday, grinding some characters to 130. Yeah. I missed it. I haven't played for like a week. And I'm like, oh yeah, I remember why I like this game. It's the perfect game of shut off my mind and just slap buttons. And I have missed that experience, to be fair. Joanne was helping me run through, so shout out to her. Like, helping me live up my Hulk, done the iconic mission for Hulk and...
You did Hulk and Thor.
Oh, you was watching, you know.
Yeah.
Why didn't you come play?
I'm gonna be honest, I was about to say, like, I saw you playing, I was like, oh, I could plug in my PS4 and, you know, get it on.
Too much effort.
Oh, too much effort for Avengers right now. I like it. I love what I played of the game, but why? You know, that's what I need with that game now.
You need a reason.
Why?
Yeah, but I'm with you, but I disagree with you as well. Where it's like the why is still there. You haven't got all your characters leveled up, so it's the fun of playing. I know that's what I'm saying, but it's the fun of getting them to cap level and then grind out for the end loot gear.
I would agree. Yeah, but the content's just so samey over and over. By the time you do it with your third character, it's like,
I've done this. Oh,
I have all my characters at least like level 80. I'm pretty sure, and it's like, cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna get all mine to 130, I think, and then I don't have to. When I decide to come back when the new DLC comes out,
it's like I can play whoever I want. Yeah,
exactly.
God.
Let's move into what's been on, this week's dashboard, the news. First story is the Xbox One X sales spike on the Series X pre-order date. So if you didn't see this, Amazon have their top sales things each week, Gretch. Yep. And this got tweeted out on Twitter. I actually saw this from Andrew Alerts, who said the Xbox One X sales rank is 747% on Amazon. Lol. Wonder how many people bought an Xbox One X instead of the Xbox Series X. And it was ranked, like he said, 747 up, number 4 on all of Amazon's electrical department for sales.
Yeah. Crazy.
A lot of kids are going to be upset this Christmas.
I saw a pretty good theory that I hope is true, is that somebody who was coding their bots miscoded the bot, and the bot ended up buying One X's.
That would have been amazing if that was
That would be hysterical, and that would be so well deserved for whoever coded that. Just got a whole shipment of One X's coming in. It'd be fantastic.
Unfortunately, I don't think that is the case.
I don't either. I think it's a bunch of people who just went on and like, oh, the Xbox I see it right here. People are saying it's not available, and they just bought it. It's also important to note, it's up in rank and not up in sales, because I know I saw people talk about it up in sales. Like, it's selling 700% more units, and it's up in rank for Amazon's list, 700% or whatever. I don't know how different that makes it.
Okay, yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah. So it's still sold more. Do you think people, when it turns up on their doorstep, they're going to be like, oh no, it's here already. It doesn't come out till 10th. Like,
I think they're going to be mad excited. Like, they released it early. My nephew's going to be so hyped.
That's crazy.
He's gonna get in his Zoom calls for class, and they're all gonna be so excited.
So, are you one of the people like the name is confusing, or are you not? Because I'm not. I mess it up every now and then, but we also say Xbox a lot more than the average person.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think for me and you, it's not confusing. I think for most like gamers that game on Xbox, it's not confusing. I would think for the average person, or the person who's very PlayStation focused, the names are pretty confusing.
Interesting.
Especially when you get to like, oh, the Xbox Series S. If you're an old person who doesn't really know gaming, and you hear Xbox S, you go into the store, Xbox S, Xbox One S. I think that's it. I think it's there. It's not supposed to be out yet. Let me just get that.
No,
I could see it. I understand. I understand both sides. I don't think it's as confusing as people seem, but I also think there's some merit there to say that it's confusing.
Fair enough. Next story is more Xbox Series X and Series S units will be available at launch after record-breaking pre-orders. Xbox tweeted out, "We are humbled by the record-breaking demand for Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S. Huge thanks to everyone for the excitement. If you weren't successful today, please be sure to sign up with retailers for updates and expect more consoles to be available on November 10th. Crash.
They sold out.
They did it.
I'm pretty sure we said that was probably going to happen.
Of
that both
course.
consoles were going to sell out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is huge.
Yes, it's huge, obviously.
Mm.
But in the same breath, these consoles are always going to sell out. Yeah. I think that the feel-good thing for me, personally, which is, as someone who's been covering Xbox for such a long time and been laughed at for such a long time, by you as well, you laughed at me, it feels nice to celebrate Xbox. It feels nice to be happy about Xbox. It feels nice to not feel like lesser than or in second place, which, don't get me wrong, I still think they are. But this week has just been so happy. And it's made me so happy that my Xbox and Me channel getting a bunch of subs, a bunch of new people finding us, obviously being on Unlocked, being on GameSpot. Like, it's all for me just come in. And then we've reached this point of pre-ordering a new console. And I was able to get the ones I wanted. And now I'm just like, bring on next gen, man. Bring on next gen.
I also think that it's pretty big that the Series X and Series S sold out because people were excited for Xbox and not because it was new hardware.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. It's like there was general excitement for it. Not just that, like, oh, the new Xbox is out. I guess I'll buy it. I guess, like, PlayStation sold out. Because that happens every time. Like, people buy something just instinctively.
There's definitely people who did that, though.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I'm not saying that there's nobody who did that.
Yeah.
My brother does that every year. Every year something like new technology comes out. My brother's like quick to it. Like, oh, I got it just cause, because I like it, right?
Damn.
So.
Confirming your brother's rich. Nice. Good to know.
Oh, I don't think he's rich enough to afford what he buys, but he still buys it. So.
The next story is all about Bethesda. Bethesda will run semi-independently under Microsoft. This one was taken from IGN by Joe Screbbles. Head of Xbox has confirmed that Phil Spencer has confirmed that Bethesda will continue to run semi-independently after the company's acquisition by Microsoft. Speaking to CNET, Spencer made it clear that while Bethesda games will adapt some of the Xbox new practices, including launching into Game Pass and becoming playable through game streaming, the company will retain some of its autonomy that resulted in some of its biggest games of all time. Quote, "It is about the culture of those teams," Spencer explained. They're not about becoming us. We've seen what it carries on. Pete Hines comes out and says some other stuff. That whole thing doesn't need to even be read. This is super important from Xbox, right? Where it's not forcing them to be Xbox, it's forcing them to be them, which is which Xbox have said they've been doing since they started picking up studios here, there, and everywhere.
Absolutely. This is like, for anybody who is really like, I've seen a lot of people worried about this, and I don't really think this is something that you should really, really be worried about, especially with like the franchises you really care about. If you play on PlayStation, you're likely still going to see the franchises there for the most part. There'll probably be an exception or two, right? But the games are also still going to be the same thing. Microsoft's not really going to force them to do anything that they wouldn't do otherwise. Maybe Microsoft comes in and they see a microtransaction. Microsoft's like, maybe don't do that microtransaction. But who knows? Because we also got Gears of War with the microtransactions it had already.
Gears 4.
Gears 4.
Not 5.
Yeah, not 5.
So
Gears 4.
I think that's just very important that could have still been caught in the state of old Xbox. Gears 4.
Yeah. That's very true.
To be fair.
That's true.
Next one comes from it's again from CNET as a quote from Satya Nadella, which we've been hinting at. The quote really here, which is, "That's why Microsoft will consider buying even more video game companies in the future," he said, "and why it continues to invest in its Xbox Game Pass subscription service." That is a quote from the CEO of Microsoft saying that. Not Phil Spencer, the guy who actually deals with the war chest of money, saying that they will consider buying more
Yeah.
Nuts.
Yeah.
Like that quote alone got me so happy. And so I don't know, like I don't know if like I don't know, it just got me like feeling good about next gen. Again, where I'm like, we could still see more come. How? You can't spend that type of money and spend more, but we could.
I mean, let's be real. Microsoft definitely can.
Yeah, clearly. It just does it not just fill you with a little warm, fuzzy feeling in your tummy?
No.
Okay.
I'll be honest.
Just
no.
me. Just me. That's okay. That's okay. Moving on, Crash, we got more new accessories coming on the way. Introducing, this is from the Xbox Wire, introducing our launch lineup of next-gen Xbox accessories coming November 10th. We've got new options for your controller, introducing the Robot White and the Xbox Series S edition. They've also got the Shock Blue controller, Crash, which is obviously where people have gone absolutely cray-cray, thinking that it's to link with Sonic.
Well, did you see
yes, I did.
The post of the person on the desk with the X,
the
there's
X
a box.
and the box, and then the tweet that's like ends with an I, and then in it is like iconic, and which is like Sonic, and it's like, Jesus, guys, you guys are very wishful thinking here, aren't you?
I think that's like a little bit too deep. Like I think people saw the Series S in the background of Phil Spencer, and people were like, Microsoft's playing these games. We gotta look at everything.
It's nice though. I find it funny. I like being on Reset Era again, like looking at all the speculation.
Oh, absolutely. Also, that controller looks nice.
The blue one.
Yeah,
it does.
Looks clean.
It does. But coming along with this controller, we got a few things confirmed on it, which is it's a wireless controller. It's USB-C bundle. So it's a USB-C controller now. We've also got the USB-C charge pack, which all of these things that we're talking about are priced at the exact same price as its old predecessor. So the controller hasn't gone up in price, the power pack hasn't gone up in price, which is something that Sony did with the DualShock controller. They've now put them up $10 due to its haptic feedback and things like that. But Xbox have stayed at the exact same price, which is really cool. Yeah. Also, Design Labs is going on hold for a little while. And I'll quickly read this. As we look ahead to the next gen of Xbox accessories, Xbox Design Labs is also preparing for the next evolution. Beginning October 14th, Xbox Design Labs will be going offline temporarily so they can bring some updates returning in 2021. So, for anyone who is looking to get a personalized controller, maybe wait, because maybe we'll see Elite controllers finally get the personalization.
Yeah, I saw people tweeting about that, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so glad I haven't bought an Elite 2 if this ends up happening."
Yeah, which is I'm everything they announce is simple, but is also like the evolution of where we should be going with Xbox, in my opinion. Yeah. So happy.
It's also like it's nice knowing that the prices haven't gone up because not much has changed for the controller, right?
Exactly.
So there's no reason for the price to go up, and that's something that I could have seen old Microsoft do so easily. Is like, hey, new controller, we'll change up the look a little bit, we'll increase the price by 10, new charge pack for it, slap another 5 on that.
Yeah,
you know,
it's now 30 instead of 25. It's now 70 instead of 60. It's exactly.
It would have been really easy for them to nickel and dime people, and like, new console generation, people aren't going to complain about it. They're just going to get it. They're going to be like a little salty about it, but whatever, you know. So it's good to see them just sort of like, yeah, everything's the same. You're all good.
Exactly.
Also, all our old stuff works on it as well. So it's like, you don't even need to get any of this.
No, it does make me want an Elite 2, though. Makes me want one bad. Because my Elite 1 is bad. Bad and bruised.
Mine's is horrible. Yeah. Mine's is so bad. The back pads on mine are gone. I have like one
shake. The back, all the
I have one half of my back.
I wish I had that. Both of mine are just dead, bro.
Oh, really?
Look, dead. But yeah, my sticks are super loose now. I'm like, can you hear this shaking?
I can hear the shaking.
I mean. There you go. Next story. New Xbox app beta on the mobile keeps you connected to your friends and is addition to Game xCloud. Sorry. So again, we don't get to try this. We don't have Android, so we don't get the nice new things. But You guys can now do party chat on your phone. You can enter xCloud on your phone. You've got your friends list. You've got your achievements. It's just a whole brand new app that looks pretty clean, if you ask me.
We talked. You mentioned party chat there. I just want to bring this up. Microsoft, I think you guys need to overhaul your party chat on PC and even on Android.
Yep.
There's no gain option. There's no any of that stuff. You should have like simple stuff like that. Go on. I want somebody at Microsoft to launch Discord. Go into
And
Discord's voice settings, just copy it.
Yep.
Just do what they do and carry it over. Because like whenever I go into party to play with friends, I have to lower with Ben. Oh, I gotta do that to me, Ben. Ben, fix. I gotta do that to me.
Ben's gonna take the L for that one.
Yeah. I always have to go into my microphone setting, and I have to lower my microphone setting because my microphone generally picks up more on the Xbox party than
it's trash. Discord. It's trash.
Yeah.
Is that why you're quiet today?
Am I quiet today? That might be why.
Maybe.
I don't know. But yeah, that's just, one little gripe. I think the app looks cool. I think it looks very clean. I don't know if you've installed the new Xbox app on PC. You have, because of Game Pass.
Yes. Yeah. It looks more unified now.
Yeah, it looks really clean as well compared to the old one they had, I feel like.
And a last story, Crash, one that affects me personally, nobody else, hence why I left it right at the bottom. EA will not be releasing a FIFA 21 demo, Crash. Crash, this might be the first time in my lifetime that I can remember FIFA not releasing a bloody demo. But I'm not going to trash them for it the way I was going to, because I thought about it a little bit more. COVID. Okay. People are working from home. They need to get the game done. They don't have time to be cutting out a piece of the game to make a demo.
Okay.
The statement they gave, though, which was, quote, "We aren't releasing a demo for FIFA 21, EA said. Instead, we've made the decision to focus our development team's time on delivering the best full game experience for the current and next-gen consoles. We look forward to EA Play members jumping in 10 days from now and launching the game October 9th.
You know what? I would love to agree with your sentiment, Fix, but we saw how Madden came out.
Let's just pretend.
We saw how Madden came out.
Do you know what the problem is, Crash?
No demo coming out? What?
Off the record, yeah, between me and you and anybody listening, I've heard that this isn't good. From playtesters and stuff like that I've spoken to, people that are deep into the FIFA hole, this game's not meant to be good at all.
Oh, that's not good. Yeah, when I saw this, I was like, that's what I took away from it, is like, no matter what they say about this, it's probably like the game isn't running optimal. It's too late. However they want it to be.
They can't delay it. Yeah. They can't do anything. We're putting this damn FIFA out, and we're going to make the people eat shit again.
Which is horrible.
I hope that isn't the case, by the way. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah,
I hope this is a fantastic FIFA, and I'm totally wrong. But I'm just saying what I've heard.
It's what it looks like.
Games with Gold this month. Last month you can get them. Last week, this week you'll be getting them. I think that seems right. Is that the last week, Crush? Is it? No, we've got one more week. By the time we record, it'll be one more week. So, the Division 1 available now till the 30th. The Book of Unwritten Tales available. No, you can't get that one anymore. Oh no, you can from the 16th to the 30th. And you can't get the Blob anymore, but you can get Armed and Dangerous from now till the 30th. So go and get your games.
Why you gotta keep mentioning the Blob? You could just cut him out of this.
I could, but my brain says do it. There you go. I've cut him out now. Next week it won't be.
But you're not going to read them there anyway next week.
Yeah, of course I'm going to read them. Because we'll record next Tuesday, being the 29th, which anyone who listens to this on Patreon will then have one more day of reminder.
You're right. You're so big brain, Fix. That's what the hat hides, is your big brain.
Big brain, mate. I got a big brain.
Mojo Jojo? That's what you got under there. You pull up the hat. Yeah. Just your brain.
I'm definitely like Mojo Jojo. You're correct. Let's plug and get ourselves out of it, Crash. What you got to plug?
Twitter.com/CrushNickPlays.
Why
are you looking at me like that?
Because you make me laugh, because I feel like you're just going to plug Twitter.com.
I would, that's something I would do.
Yeah, it's true, you would. Yeah, you can find me everywhere at MC Fixer. What's the big thing I'd say this week? Check out my NBA and PGA Tour series. They're not getting as much love as I would like. They're not just generic. They are generic sports games, but the edit on them are actually really good that make them a fun watch. They're about 10 minutes long, so they're nice and short and concise. A lot of fun editing, a lot of me screaming and shouting and getting upset and things like that. So if you're into that type of content, that fun house type of editing-ish, not as good as that, of course, because I'm in it, so... I'm not going to say I'm anywhere near that. Yeah. But if you like that type of content, go check out my personal YouTube channel. Also, youtube.com/myxboxandme, which you should be listening to this. We are so close to hitting 1,000 subscribers, which to me is wild. Because
we didn't think 1,000. So at first, the end goal was 500 for the year. Then we bumped it up to 1,000. And now we're really close to that. We're about 87 away last I checked.
Mad.
So like if you guys are listening to this on any podcast listening services, if you're listening to this on your Amazon, the device, just
Alexa, turn lights green.
Yeah. Pop open YouTube or just tell Alexa to subscribe to us. And go give us a sub,
Alexa,
close to that 1,000.
Alexa, listen to Dreams into Schemes by Shaldo. I'm on that song, Crush. I wonder how many people listen to it.
Don't know what song that is.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Would Alexa find it?
Yeah, it's on Amazon.
Yeah, but would Alexa find it?
Stop saying the word, because otherwise you've just confused it and it was playing then. God damn it. Come on.
I made it stop.
Come on.
My bad.
You made it
sorry.
pause. Gosh, damn it. Just damn it. Until next time, we will love you, leave you, and see you all later. Goodbye.
Goodbye.